It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White.
That
is
not going to be
saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be.
You don't particularly see people who, look like me or are me playing roles like that. So it was definitely when it got announced.
Snow White!
He wasn't a stalker, by the way.
Thing that was trending on Twitter for days because all of the people were angry.
One major development going on now involves more to do with Rachel Zegler and her attitude towards South Park Studios and Paramount after learning about what they are planning for their upcoming special called the DEI Special, and what they recently did toward both Zegler and the Disney company for their Snow White film. It turns out that both Trey Parker and Matt Stone are already preparing for the DEI Special.
Snow White is the first American feature-length animated movie. 1937. It's one of the most beloved movies of all time.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Say it louder so your other eye can hear you. No, the people who you need to entertain, the people who you need to serve, the people who pay your salary.
Our rights are on the line, folks.
The right to buy Cosby sweaters?
Come on.
That's the face of a serial killer.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button.
What does it take to go from Hollywood's darling to public enemy in just a few years? Rachel Zegler was the breakout star everyone adored, but now she's caught in a firestorm of backlash, a box office catastrophe, and a rumored showdown with South Park that could end her career. From Snow White's epic fail to one move nobody saw coming, this story is a wild ride, and there's a twist at the end that'll leave you stunned. Stick around because you won't believe where this is headed. Picture this, a 17-year-old from New Jersey belting out show tunes on YouTube, dreaming of a stage. That was Rachel Zegler in 2018. Fast forward to 2021, and Steven Spielberg handpicks her for West Side Story. Her performance as Maria, electric. Critics called her a once-in-a-generation talent. She snagged a Golden Globe at 20, the youngest ever in her category. Hollywood rolled out the red carpet, hailing her as the Latina star to break every barrier. But that fairy tale was about to hit a brick wall.
The last time I had the dream, I was walking down the school hallway, and that's when I started to notice that something's wrong. Everyone I cared about has been systematically replaced. And finally, I want to scream, and I'm like, why are they replacing every single character with someone who is diverse?
No, make it more lame. That is exactly what they're doing. And that is why we hate the diversity, equity, and inclusion casting and writing in movies.
Then came Disney's live-action Snow White. When Zegler was cast as the iconic princess, the internet lost it. The 1937 original is sacred, Disney's first animated film, a global treasure. Casting a Colombian-Polish actress as the fairest of them all sparked cries of woke nonsense. Zegler didn't help her case, calling the classic outdated, its prince a creepy stalker. She vowed her Snow White would be a leader, not a lovesick dreamer. Fans of the original felt betrayed, and the hashtag #NotMySnowWhite trended for weeks. But the chaos was just warming up.
It was supposed to come out like a year and a half ago, and then we went after them so hard because of their variety of ridiculous sins that they actually went into full-scale reshoots on Snow White when we announced that we had a competitor.
Zegler's social media turned into a battlefield. In August 2024, after the Snow White trailer dropped, she posted a heartfelt thank you to fans, then ended with Free Palestine. The backlash was instant. Her co-star, Gal Gadot, an Israeli and former IDF soldier, faced online hate, with Disney scrambling to protect her. Insiders say producer Mark Platt begged Zegler to delete the post, but she doubled down. Then, post-2024 election, she unleashed a tirade against Donald Trump, dropping an F-bomb and slamming his voters. Her apology came too late. Half her fan base was already gone. Hold on, it gets wilder.
It was the first animated film that had the kind of Disney magic that had depth, that had absolute, it was riveting, and it's based, of course, on a Brothers Grimm story, and people loved that film.
Snow White hit theaters in March 2025, and it crashed hard. With a $350 million price tag, it barely scraped $143 million worldwide, bleeding Disney $115 million. Critics savaged it. 41% on Rotten Tomatoes. A measly 1.6/10 on IMDb. Many blamed Zegler's woke comments for alienating audiences. Jonah Platt, the producer's son, posted a scathing Instagram takedown, calling her narcissistic and accusing her of sabotaging the film with her politics. But stars like Lily Allen pushed back, saying remake fatigue and a weak script were the real culprits. Zegler? She was caught in the crossfire, taking heat from all sides, and then a new player entered the ring.
And this started with the movie star Rachel Zegler, who I believe would be categorized as a loudmouth dope.
As an actor, you don't get to dictate anything. You don't get to dictate if a film actually happens. You don't get to dictate when it is shot, how it is shot, if you can ever speak about it to the public. You are simply just there to show up and say your lines and look the way they want you to look. That is our job. This path that I'm taking right now is the path that Rachel Zegler should have taken instead of just running her mouth for the last 3 years.
Whispers started swirling about South Park's next move, a DEI special targeting Hollywood's diversity push, with Zegler as the main punching bag. Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the show's fearless creators, have skewered everyone from pop stars to politicians. Posts on X claim the special will caricature Zegler as a preachy diva, turning her Snow White drama into a biting satire of woke culture. The episode hasn't dropped, but the rumor alone has fans buzzing. Some cheer South Park's no-holds-barred humor, others call it a cheap shot at a young star. But the real bombshell was still to come.
God forbid a woman dream about true love. We're all just sitting around here, maybe I could be president one day. I hate men, I just want to be president. That screams Disney princess. Oh my God, I'm literally getting enraged. Once again, I feel like I'm back in 2022.
Talk surfaced that Zegler was eyeing a $100 million legal battle against Parker and Stone. The claim? Their rumored portrayal could paint her as the sole reason Snow White tanked, torching her career. Allegedly, one studio already shelved casting talks, spooked by her toxic image. No lawsuit's been filed, but the speculation has Hollywood on edge. Legal experts say she's got a tough case. South Park's satire is bulletproof under free speech laws. Still, the idea of a 23-year-old taking on comedy giants has everyone talking. Is she fighting for her name or just digging a deeper hole? The drama didn't end there.
All right, anyway, we'll continue.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Hollywood split down the middle. Pedro Pascal called Zegler an icon on Instagram, while Halle Bailey, no stranger to racist backlash as Ariel, sent her public support. Melissa Barrera, axed from Scream 7 for her own political posts, praised Zegler's guts. But not everyone was cheering. Ariana DeBose, Zegler's West Side Story co-star, shared a shady post about ego, later claiming it wasn't about Rachel. Jonah Platt doubled down, tweeting that Zegler's self-inflicted wounds cost her allies. The industry was a war zone, and Zegler was at the center. But she wasn't done fighting.
Yeah, the entire film's about a love story. It's about a love story because that's what the point of the film is. And I'm sorry that chivalry and a man pursuing you is now deemed as stalking, which now it's kind of making sense why men are opting out of the dating scene.
Instead of retreating, Zegler pivoted. She signed on for Evita, a gritty indie musical far from Disney's sparkle, and landed a coveted Met Gala invite for 2025, signaling she's still in the game. On set, she stayed quiet, dodging lawsuit questions and focusing on her craft. Insiders say she's betting on raw talent to outshine the noise. Her fans rallied, trending #TeamRachel, while detractors mocked her as too woke for Hollywood. Whatever you think, one thing's clear, Zegler's not backing down, and the story's far from over.
I'm sorry that the Snow White movie sucked, guys. I'm not sorry at all that we forced, basically as a company, Daily Wire forced Snow White into production again.
What does this saga mean for Hollywood? Zegler's battles, against backlash, satire, and her own words, could change how stars navigate cancel culture. If she pushes a lawsuit, it might scare comedians into pulling punches. If she wins back fans, she could prove resilience trumps scandal. Her fight mirrors a bigger shift. Young stars under a microscope, where one tweet or cartoon can spark a firestorm. As streaming platforms amplify every jab, the line between satire and slander gets blurrier. Will Zegler redefine the game or become its latest casualty? Here's the kicker. Zegler's got something up her sleeve. Whispers on X hint at a secret project, a bold, unannounced role that could flip her narrative entirely. Is it a career-saving move or another risk that'll backfire? Her Snow White days are behind her, but the fight for her future is just heating up. What do you think? Can Rachel Zegler rise above the chaos, or is her star already fading? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep this convo going.